bottom piece of the panel. So we have our top. Get that fitment a little bit better. Yeah, I need it a little bit better. Okay. There we go. All right. So that's where it's going. Okay, so 5 7/16. 17. All right, I had a piece already cut to 5 3/8, so all I do is cut the length, and we're in there. Okay, so now that's actually not going there. That's the top. This is the bottom, so it's going in like that. So I'm gonna actually just tack it in there with some screws on the sides. Of course, I said screws, and then I said, oh, let's get the nailer. Well, I nailed it. Luckily, I only nailed it on one side before I realized my mistake. If I had nailed it on both sides, getting it off would have been an absolute bear. I tacked in this side here with 2 nails, made it flat, level with the bottom, and then this side, just get one to just kind of hold it still, flush with the bottom there. Make sure it's flush with the bottom. What percentage of the time would you say you spend looking for the tool you just put down? It's like obscene. Oh, I mean, this situation right now is completely obscene. It's just because I'm in the middle of this project. I don't want to put any tools away yet because I'm constantly using the same tools over and over. So it's like I probably could pre-drill that if this splits. It would be pretty mad. All right, so that's in there now. That's not going to move, so I'll have to, once I pull that screw out, fill that in later because I'm not laminating this because that fit in here is so tight and perfect. It's staying. There's no laminate can go on there. It's too tight of a fit in there. We're going to use the same hinges we used on the back because I have an extra pair. You can see these are brand new, right from the store, like 14 years ago, I'm sure. I'm actually going to mount them like this with the hinge. I don't think that'll be a problem. Will it? I will only be able to get to half the movement. I don't really want them like this because then I gotta really sink them in to account for the to account for that right there. So I'd rather mount them like this and notch with the router, notch out a section for this, notch out a little bit for the thickness of it, but also notch out a bigger section for this, so that it can open. Otherwise, I have to notch these all the way down to be flush with this, and I don't know. It's just a pretty big recess. I think it might look better like this. That could probably work. And then when I open it, I could open it completely. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but let's do it that way. I think that's the right way to do it. And I think I got to take them up to the edge. So 2.5. All right, so let's make a mark at 2.5. Bam. We have to be gentle with the router, gentle. And we'll see how it comes out. Wanted to do a tiny bit first to make sure my height, my depth is right. I ditched the plunge piece. That was just not going to work. All right, so I'm at a steady spot here where I've. All right, so we're gonna try to follow a straight line. See how we do. Okay, so they do not go in straight lines, routers, very easily. Oh my god. Actually, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it would though. Alright, now, so there it is recessed in the hole. Let's make sure with a straight edge that it does not go out Need to go a little deeper there, buddy. Yep, can't be touching. A little deeper, just a touch. I can tell you right now, this is going to be deep enough, if not too deep. Perfect. Alright, so now we're going to hog the other side out. I can tell you right now, I don't even need to check that. It's not even touching. Not even close. Okay, good. Alright. So those are in. They need to be bolted in. Now, the next thing I realized we talked about that I mentioned in the last video was, or earlier in this video, how I put them together. Okay. How are we going to do the wires? Do I get them at the front? Do I put ports in here? I can't take them at the bottom because when it sits on something, it's going to be too small. I mean, it's going to sit on the wires. There's a little channel, maybe in the middle, maybe closer to the middle. Wide enough for an HDMI and a mini USB to come out. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be on this or not on this. It doesn't really matter, but it needs to be high enough so that it can come out the front when I'm not at home, and it needs to be down here so that when I go to slide this thing in, see, when I go to slide this thing in the front, the panel's right there, so I can't have a wire coming out the front. It would need a space to sit, so I'll be able to push it down and slide the thing in, no problem. It'll go real easy. Now that width there, 1/2. Okay, so there is a 1/2 bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the 1/2 bit in, and that's it, just into there. So it'll be enough. And then I'll just check. Here we go. So again, this is going to pop open. But anyway, the wires, the HDMI cable, and the so what it's going to be is it's actually going to be a female HDMI cable coming out of here and a female micro USB. It's going both of those will go into the Pi inside, and they'll come out just as regular ports. So it'll just look like a port, but it'll be like dangling off. Be able to plug in anybody's HDMI cable, unplug their, set-top box and plug it in there. Everyone has a micro USB charger. I'll bring one along and just plug that in. And then in here, we'll have the same thing coming out, regular HDMI cable coming out of the box. I'm probably going to get an RGB monitor with RGB. Get the converter from HDMI in to RGB and audio out. I found they're $8, brand new on Amazon. So I didn't think they'd be that cheap. It'll be like $20-something. All right, so let's get these hinges in here and get the nails out. Well, get the nails out. No, we're gonna put the hinges in so we can get the screws and everything lined up. Then we're gonna take the hinges off, screw out, nails out. We're good to go. All right. Yeah, maybe I can pull them out through there. I'm gonna take it up. Ooh, you do not like that. You're not real happy about that, are you? Sitting on this corner here, this inside corner. I wonder why it's doing that. Must have not quite properly aligned the. That's over. I could actually undo it and just probably sand that. Belt sand that. Let's do that. Let me just undo this.